First of all, let's have a look at how listening fits into the communication process. So this is made up of ask, listen to reflect, and tell. It's an equilateral triangle because all three have the same importance. It depends what your strategy is. So if you want to gain others' perspectives, solicit specific information on data, you should ask powerful questions. If you want to show interest and acknowledge what the other person is saying, you need to paraphrase what they have said. And if you want to share your perspective or make a recommendation, you need to tell. Let's have a look at some of the things we should avoid. To listen to someone effectively, we need to be fully present and not have distractions. So in this image, you will see somebody watching TV and engaged in a movie, drama, or game, maybe. So if somebody comes into the room and starts talking to him and he's fully engaged in what he's watching, he's likely to just hear a noise. And maybe he'll agree to the noise just to stop them talking. And this is called passive listening. Another scenario we find ourselves in is when we interact with someone else at, for example, at a restaurant or a bar. And let's say these two are catching up on their latest holiday. What tends to happen is that each person is waiting for the other person to stop talking so they can share what they did. And this is called social listening, where where they show very little or no interest in what the other person is saying. So this is how to effectively listen. It's an acknowledgement or a recognition of what somebody else has said by paraphrasing the content and sometimes the emotion based on what that person has done and felt. So the tone goes up and not down because this is an affirmation, not a clarifying question. And by paraphrasing, it's a subtle way of playing back what has been said in a succinct manner. So, generally speaking, when somebody gives you a paragraph, you can summarize in a sentence and capturing the essence of what has been said. And if someone gives you a sentence, you can paraphrase in a few words. It's also important to, especially in face to face meetings, to show eye contact with the other person, as this non-verbal communication goes a long way to showing interest in what that person is saying. And it's not interrupting what someone has said to share what you think. It's not repeating, otherwise, it feels that you've not really listened. It's also not agreeing or disagreeing with the other person. And it's not saying what this must mean or a deduction of what has been said. So, the value of paraphrasing or active listening is that you will show interest. And by showing interest, you build trust and relationship. And this is important in any conversation, whether coaching someone to make a decision or helping a candidate in an interview feel at ease or when you are meeting a customer. It also encourages the speaker to continue and expand on events that have happened or happening, their points of view, their perspectives on problems and countermeasures. And in tough or emotional conversations, showing that you are listening can show empathy and help that person feel understood and appreciated. And in addition, paraphrase can help to avoid misunderstandings so you capture if you capture the wrong message as you are paraphrasing, the speaker has an opportunity to correct your understanding. This is especially pertinent in an interview where you are taking notes on what the person has said. But it can also apply to customer meetings, coaching others, and having feedback sessions. It can also help to reduce tension and anxiety. I used to have a manager before I joined GE who was very emotional and got angry very quickly. And on one occasion, he was very unhappy that I had not met my sales targets, which was not true as he hadn't looked at the data properly. So when he was very emotional or upset with me, I simply acknowledged what he was saying, not agreeing or disagreeing or trying to show him the real data or asking him questions. Because when someone is emotional, their capacity to listen goes down. So I listened, acknowledged, and waited for a time when he had cooled down to present him with the real data.